Hey guys, it's Danny. Now recently I received a request to make a cornbread stuffing or dressing, but before I could do that I needed to come up with a clean cornbread. So for this quick bite I am showing you how to make my clean and delicious cornbread. The first thing I'm going to do is combine my dry ingredients, starting with 1 cup of fine ground cornmeal. Now you want to make sure to get fine ground because coarse cornmeal or corn flour, it is not going to work here, and believe me, I know this because I learned the hard way. 1/2 cup of whole wheat pastry flour. Again, the pastry flour, it's a finer grind than regular whole wheat flour, so it's going to result in a lighter cornbread. 1½ teaspoons of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. And then I'm just going to gently toss that till all of my dry ingredients are combined, and I'll set this aside. Okay, now I'm going to combine my wet ingredients, starting with 1/2 cup of buttermilk. Now, buttermilk has a reaction with the baking powder that actually helps the bread to end up being a little bit lighter. But if you didn't have buttermilk on hand, you could just take regular milk and add a teaspoon of white vinegar. Let it sit on the counter for 10 minutes, and that's going to give you the same type of result. Then I've got 1 egg, 1/3 cup of honey, that's going to be our sweetener, and 1/4 cup of melted coconut oil. Now, if you need to heat your coconut oil up to melt it down, just make sure when you add it in that you do it nice and slow so you don't end up scrambling the egg. Then I'm just going to give this all a whisk until everything is well incorporated. From here, I'm going to add my wet ingredients into my dry ingredients and toss in 1/2 cup of corn kernels. Now, I love using fresh kernels off the cob, definitely the most delicious option, but if that is not available, you could also do frozen corn or canned corn. Then once you have all the ingredients in the bowl, the goal is to stir it ever so gently, just until everything is just incorporated. You don't want to overmix here. Okay, so once I've got all of the ingredients combined, I'm just going to pour the batter into a 2-quart glass baking dish that I lightly coated with a little bit of coconut oil. Okay, so now I'm just going to pop this in my 350-degree oven for 25 to 30 minutes, or until the top is lightly golden brown and the center is set through. So here's the deal. My daughter is pretty obsessed with the cornbread that they sell at Whole Foods. So when I was making this recipe, I wanted to try to recreate the way they make it. So I found a mock Whole Foods recipe online, and I just tried to tweak it to how I thought it would be delicious. And when I gave my husband a blind taste test between Whole Foods cornbread and my cornbread, guess which cornbread he preferred? Danny Spies. And I just thought that you should know that. The top is lightly golden brown and the center is set through. Okay, it's time to give this a little taste. That is so good. I like that it has a little bit of texture from the fine ground cornmeal, but then you get the little pops of corn and the sweetness of the honey. And the funny thing about it is it really tastes like it has a lot of butter in it, but there's no butter, coconut oil. Anyway, light, fluffy, delicious. You guys need to give this one a try. And if you want to print the recipe, make sure you go to cleananddelicious.com where you can print this and all my recipes, and tune in for the next video because I'm going to be taking this delicious cornbread and turning it into a cornbread stuffing. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm Danny Spies, and I will see you next time with some more clean and deliciousness. Cheers.
Which one did Katie like?
Katie likes Whole Foods.